is what I do. You can count on me, Jesus. Give you everything, because worship is who you are. Hey! And it is what I do. Say,
you can count on me.
give you everything,
Give you everything.
because worship is
Who you are.
and it is what I do.
It is what I do.
Say you can count on me.
You can count on me.
Hey! Give you everything,
Give you everything.
because worship is
Worship is who you are.
it is what I do.
It is what I do.
One more time, say you can count on me, Jesus.
You can count on me.
Morning, noon, and night, I promise
Give you
to give you
everything.
everything. I'll raise the sound of worship.
Worship is
Who you are. Hey! It is what I do.
It is what I do.
Let's have some party in the Holy Ghost. No Sarabaya, he cannot have a never son of the man, to the living, Ebrondo Deliando Basata, Bayando Saraba, he can't ever no Sere Bayana, to the lover of my soul, to the lover of my soul. Emanana Bayando no Saramanane, to the lover of my soul. He can no none of us, none Bayanda, to the lover of my soul. And hey, to the lover of my soul.
Worship is all
I
I
can
do.
see angels descending and
All I
ascending.
do.
I can see worship going up to the
All
throne.
I do.
And I can see my Jesus glorified.
All I do.
We give you everything we
All
are.
I do.
Hey,
All I do.
I give you everything we
All I
are.
do.
Jesus.
Hi everyone. I guess we're good to start. I want to believe we're live on YouTube. Welcome to the first edition of the LYP virtual series for 2022. We took a long break for about 4 months, but we're happy to be back to our regular programming, and it's packed. So the wait was not intentional. We're trying to make sure that whatever we bring to your screens is worth it and will somehow contribute immensely to just how you live the rest of 2022. So my name is Joy, and I will be your host for today, rather moderator for today. Thanks, Jennifer, for the clarification. I tend to realize, or rather think I'm on TV. But regardless, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to everyone on YouTube. Thank you to everyone on Zoom. It's Saturday and it's 12 o'clock, and I know that you probably have like a lineup of things to focus on, but we're happy that you prioritized this event and decided to join. Before we get started, I would like to introduce our host. Tunde, would you mind helping us figure out the pinning situation? Just so that everyone sees who's talking. Awesome. So I'm going to just do a quick run through of our housekeeping rules that we already mentioned. So stay attentive. It's definitely going to be packed. So it's my hope that you get 2, 3, or a lot of nuggets that will help you build 2022. Remain on mute. We have already put you on mute, but kind of like remain there. Finally, questions. We shared a link to share questions throughout last week. If you still have any question, please drop it on the chat, either on Zoom and YouTube, and somebody wonderful in our team would be excited to pull up your questions. If you have a friend or a colleague that you know in your heart will benefit from this session, do not be selfish. Sharing is caring. Please share with them. You have the links to YouTube, the links to Zoom. Please share with them so they can be part of this. And then finally, if you are not already following us on Instagram, please go ahead and follow us on Instagram at LYP Full-Time. We're right there. We are a few hundred strong. So just keep the conversation buzzing and be in the loop of what's happening in our community. We recommend you follow us on Instagram. Now we can proceed to why we are here, and we're discussing I'd say it's a very vital topic, but it's not one that's like usually shared. People tend to shy away from it because they feel like they have it figured out. But we'll be discussing a super important topic, and it's pretty much called transformational strategies for your personal brand. So by personal brand, it's not, even if you have a business, let's not go there. We're talking about you as a person, like you as a person. So we're trying to give you solutions on how we can build your personal brand. And with me today, it's not going to be me because at this point, I admit I am a learner, and I'm looking forward to hear from our amazing, amazing speakers. First on the list is the amiable Olabisi Dudoyemi, who is the founder and chief unveiler, BCD Impact Coaching Academy. And she started to grace us with her presence, a very busy schedule, but made the time to join us today. So she'll be speaking in today's event alongside Dr. Maxwell Uba, who is a leadership strategy and change management consultant. So you see, we went to bring people that are experts in this field, and we know that they are going to do justice to the topic. So yes, you don't have to hear a lot of my voice. Let's go right to it. We'll do a quick introduction of our speakers. We'll let them just introduce themselves and give us their take on what personal branding is. And then I will be doing a little bit of a sieve test. So I may call anyone on this call to just pretty much give me a bit on, describe your personal brand. So we give you an exercise over on the emails where we said, what's your personal brand like? Do you know what your personal brand is? I did a test on myself yesterday, and it's unbelievable that I couldn't even pinpoint one thing. So I'm going to do a bit of an exercise. So please, I will call anyone randomly. Do not panic. It's all love here. But yeah, we can get right to it. I would like our first speaker to introduce herself and give us a take on what the topic means to her and how she sees it from her perspective. Mr. Labisi Dudemi, you have the floor. Over to you.
Okay. Thank you so much, moderator. Well, my name is Olabisi Duduyemi. Quite a lot has been said with respect to what I do in the coaching space. I'm actually also, for 9 to 5, a human resource practitioner for over 17 years. Quite a lot has been done in that field as well. I'm also a life and executive leadership coach. And I think I'll just stop at that so that we don't also, it's not about me today, it's about we learning and speaking to what personal branding is all about and what our transformational strategies are. To set the pace or to set the tone, I just want to say that this is a very, very vital topic that you have chosen today, and I say thank you to the coordinators of the League of Young Professionals. It's very, very important at this point. Now, so I just want to allow data to speak a bit, because for me, I like basing whatever of course, the foundation has to be quite clear. So I'll say that as at today, based on a survey done in 2018 by Forbes Career Building Survey, there's 70% of employers use social media to screen candidates during the hiring process. And 43% of employers use social media to check on current employees. I'd also want to take two more. Another one by Michael Page. 57% of employers are less likely to interview candidates that they can't find online. So we may say, oh, is personal branding about online or social media? No. It's not all about social media at all. I would like to raise the bar a bit and speak about executives. There's something I read, in it's a document by CEOs Hangout.com, says 87% of business executives rate reputation as important as other strategic issues. So you know what that means when CEOs say reputation is key. And these are facts and figures that help us know that what we're about to talk about today is not child's play. I like to start. I like to also speak to personal branding with something Jeff Bezos said, because I want to bring it close home. Jeff Bezos says that your personal brand is who other people say you are when you are not in the room. Is who other people say you are when you're not in the room. So it's all about perception. It's all about what people see from afar or people feel you are. And I tell you something, whatever it is, irrespective of your being deliberate or not being deliberate, there's a perception about you. I wouldn't know if we'll have time or if you have our gadgets with us. I just want as many as can, at this point, just Google your name. Just type your name in the Google engine and see what it comes up with. For you to know that one way or the other, something is thrown up, about you as an individual. I'm sure most of us are not deliberate about it, but today those are part of the things we want to speak about. So that I also give my co-panelists the opportunity to speak. I would want to also drop this by Lisa Gansky. Lisa Gansky says, your brand is your public image identity, what you are trusted for as an individual. What are you trusted for? And for your brand to endure, really, it has to be tested. So you see a lot of things that will be thrown at you. Yes, we are young professionals. So most of us in career, it will be tested. Daily, it will be tested and redefined, managed. And it would also expand as the market evolved. So that's the things we are going to speak about today. So if you are careful, if you are deliberate, your brand either learn or disappear. So today we're about to speak while we ask questions on reasons why you have to take it seriously. I've given a quick assignment. Google your name. What comes up? What do you see? At this point, I think I'll yield the mic to my co-panelists, but it is quite important at this point. So please sit tight, and I believe that you would have so many things to benefit from this session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma. And I think that's quite thought-provoking. When you say we should go and search ourselves, something I usually dread, but it's interesting how I like what I see. So thank you for making us take on that exercise. Dr. Maxwell, I'm going to give a brief intro on yourself as well as your take on the topic.
Okay, thank you for this opportunity to talk about personal branding. So the moderator of the League of Young Professionals, I want to thank you. Once again, my co-panelist, Madam Olabisi Dudumuriami, thank you for all the facts and the figures and the data that you've given to us. My name is Maxwell Oba. I lead a company called Strategy House, where we help organizations in the area of leadership strategy and organizational transformation. So I simply say I help individuals and organizations to become more effective and to win in the marketplace. Now, I think for me, I won't go in the context of data and facts, but that's why we are two. So Madam Olabisi has done that. I just want you to imagine that you are in a busy shopping mall and you see one of your friends, or so if somebody that you would like to meet, but you've forgotten the person's name. Imagine trying to get the person's attention without the person's name in a crowded environment. So it will be almost impossible. Or go to Oshodi Market, for example. You are trying to meet somebody that sells cotton, but you don't know the name of that particular person that sells cotton in Oshodi Market. And there are 1,000 people selling cotton. How would you differentiate or identify the person that you want to really buy cotton for? And that's where branding starts from. Branding starts from identifying you. You understand? A brand helps to identify you, who you are. And like the name Olabisi Duduyami or Maxwell, it's a name, but in that name, there's a lot of things. The schools I've gone to, the books I have written, everything about me is hidden in that name. So a brand, apart from identifying you, is also a representation of all that you
are. And when I'm talking about representation, I'm talking about what do people expect from you. So when you see the Apple brand, there's something, a representation, innovation, breakthrough products, Coca-Cola brand. There's something that it represents in the mind of people. So that's what a brand is. So at a simple definition, I would say that your brand is your representation that helps to identify you and tells people what to expect from you. So let's take that. It's a representation. So Coca-Cola is a name, but it represents something beyond just the name Coca-Cola. What do people expect when they do business with you? And like the quote by Jeff Bezos, when you are not there, what do they say about you? So when Max Oluba is coming into a meeting, what do people hold about me? It's my brand. And a lot of things goes into that particular perception. So another definition here of a brand, and it says that a brand is a perception or emotion held by somebody else about you. You understand? That's what a perception or emotion held by somebody else about you that describes the total experience of having a relationship with you. So what's that total experience? So every time I send an email to my boss, I'm actually building my brand, and we all have brands here. So there's not everybody here has a brand. The question here we'll ask ourselves, is your brand effective or not effective? So because of my time, let me just talk about two more things. Number one, what are the qualities of great brands? Great brands have so many qualities, but I think the key three for me that are important is that they are distinctive, which is they are unique. You can separate them, Coca-Cola from Pepsi. So you can separate that. Let me use that. They are distinctive. They are relevant to their space. So if I come here, for example, a corporate world, I want to do a training and I put a pink colored hair, you understand, as a facilitator. It's distinctive, yes, but is it relevant to my audience? And the question is no. So sometimes you need to ask yourself, as you're trying to build your brand, who are you targeting? Because a brand is held in the mind of somebody else. So you need to build your brand based on the audience that you're targeting. And you need to ask yourself, am I relevant to that particular audience? And relevance has to do with value addition and value creation. And the final point here is that a brand, the great brands are consistent. Consistency, there's something about a great brand that is consistent. So if you take the Apple, if you take the Samsung, if you take the Coca-Cola, if you take great brands, there's a consistency across board. Are they perfect? No, but there's a measure of consistency. So brand building is not something that happens in one day, but it starts on a particular day. So you need to now have that consistency in delivery. For me, one of the things, for example, that is associated with me, I'm not perfect, but I try not to go late for every meeting that I have. And over time, I have built that consistency. I think my time is up because I see that the moderator is back. So let me stop. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Maxwell. And actually, I was just setting the scene for questions, but thank you so much. And Dr. Maxwell, when you said that pink hair, like I feel like you were about to shake tables that a lot of people came here for, in terms of how to look and how people's preferences. Somebody was even telling me that they said pink, me, I'm wearing green glasses. So what exactly am I
just use that as an example, actually. I'm used that as an example.
Yes, yeah, but absolutely. But I think that's actually why we're here. And I think from the questions that we received, it sort of is around those sorts of things. So I think I'll move on to the first question that we have, and coincidentally, it's pretty much on that. So it says, does character have a role in personal branding? Or is your personal brand all about your outward personality? I'm going to take Mr. Duyemi first, and then we take Dr. Maxwell's response. Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. I really love that question. Is your branding about, the outward appearance only? And I'll say no. So let me start by saying that I love using analogies, and I would love to use that here. So imagine you have a 10-inch. Now, for most people that are not familiar with cake baking and all, 10-inch cake, you have two. well baked. And you have the second one, iced with, let's say, sky blue. You have roses. You have it well decorated. It is, you possibly put some sprinkles and all. And you are to sell. Who or which would cost more? Which would cost more? I don't know if participants have access to, drop responses in the chat room, but which would sell more? So as we are responding to that, just have that at the back of your mind. Now, you would go the extra mile to spend more money to buy cake that has icing or that is well decorated because, oh, it is appealing. However, imagine that the cake, after you've bought what you want to buy, you put your knife through the cake and you realize that it is not well made. So inside is not well formed. You'll definitely be disappointed. Why? Because you've raised the bar based on the outer parts, based on the container, but the content is rubbish. So that is just trying to put it together. So for a brand, it has to start from within. Now, one of the things I would say, one of the strategies for personal brand is authenticity. And I think Dr. Maxwell has mentioned that authenticity, and I call it be yourself. And so your character being your mental and moral qualities distinct to you is clear. This is who Olabisi Duduyemi is. I have my, for various phases of various areas of my life, I have what I want to showcase. I have what I want people to know about me. So what is distinct to you is the attraction, is that's your brand and identity. So with the cake analogy, if I've said that, yes, the cake is ready-made, that is the content. The outer part too makes it look better. So for you to want to showcase yourself to the world, so what are my characteristics, or what do I want to showcase to the world? Oh, I say professionalism, or I start with spirituality. I start with spirituality. I say professionalism for my career. I say integrity. I say intelligence. I say warmth. I say I put class to it, or being classy and all. Now imagine me trying to project that to the world with, of course, the proper container. So it comes from within. My character has a lot to do with what I showcase. Now imagine someone with a very bad attitude, a very bad character, trying to paint or trying to have a whitewashed wall, and you get out there and people are attracted to you. And by the time they get close to that brand, they realize that this person is unapproachable. This person is arrogant. This person is, how will I put it? This person is a no-go area, is repulsive. People will definitely, you would damage the brand beyond repairs at that point. So it comes from within. Yes, most times you don't give people the opportunity. That's why we say, whatever it is you want to showcase, ensure that the content, and that's why you would prefer to buy a cake, if you want to give it as a gift to someone, a cake that is well made, a cake that is well decorated, because 2 or 3 minutes, people already form opinion about you. But you've attracted the right kind of people. You've attracted positive, attraction. You've attracted so many people out there. However, your character is foul. It is more discouraging. So it starts from within. Now, I want to challenge everyone on this call, as much as possible, you're trying to, put yourself out there. I want you to start with you. Who am I? And that is something that most of us don't really know. And as such, we try to run other people's race, going here and there, because I want to be like Dr. Maxwell. I want to speak like Dr. Maxwell. Dr. Maxwell has his target audience. He has the people he's assigned to speak to. We'll still delve more into that as we go on. So who am I? So knowing who I am as an individual, then I have to be true to me. So even while I try to create my personal brand, I have to be true to me. I'm as an individual, I'm more introverted than extroverted. I want to show warmth. I want to show a level of intelligence. I want to showcase excellence. So those are the things I need to be true to. because I now try to be someone else who may be portrayed as arrogant or who may be portrayed as extroverted because I'm not comfortable in my skin as an introvert, is quite derailing. Some people will say you run with speed in the wrong direction. I tell you, you've missed it. So tying it back to the question, it starts from within. It starts from your character. It has a lot to do from within to without. However, because of the world we live in, people quickly judge books by their cover. So the external part looks like is very, very important because you may not have more than a minute to create that impression on whoever you are dealing with. So make sure the outer part is cool, is solid, like the cake analogy I just gave. But ensure that whenever whoever is trying to cut a slice of that cake would meet a perfectly done cake. Because if they cut into that cake and is not done, the disappointment is going to be disastrous and you would destroy the brand beyond, well, nothing is irreparable, so let me not go into that side, but I believe that has explained that. It's from within. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Dr. Max, just before you answer that question, I wanted to just take it up a little bit. If you could just add, in terms of explaining does character matter, can you just like cite examples of individuals who, in quotes, have the right character? Just wanted to just switch that up a little bit.
I might not be able to cite an individual that has the right character because you need to know them 100% for you to state those individuals. And what we see might not be who they really are. So I think for me, because this is also recorded, you don't want to also cite people's name that can be used against you or used for you. So we need to be careful. But I think Madam LYP May has done a great job. You know, the Bible talks about the white-headed sepulchres. They appear nice and attractive, but inwardly are filled with dead men's bone. Now, we need to balance the promise. The promise is what I see, which is your personality. So you meet me the first day, oh, it's nice, it's gentle, it's this, that's the promise. But what is my motive? Who am I at the end of the day? And people can be very deceptive. Scripture talks about the heart of man being very deceptive. So I would say here that the one that you can easily tick off is the impression that you create. So start with creating the right impression. So I'm going for a meeting, I need to create the right impression so that I get that job. But ensure that after you get the job, just like she said, that you can deliver. So the promise is like your personality. It's what people know. Is that interactions that people have. Your character is who you are, and you need to be true to your person over time. That's what I would say here. Branding is beyond the promise. Is beyond adverts, is beyond impression management, but advertisement, impression management, and all that are also important. So see your character as the foundation and your personality as the building that we see. So you can have a nice character, but if you don't project it outward that for people to see it very well, you might also be affected. So I'll tell you about the story of a bank. I can mention this because right now it's in the public domain, but the bank had the best advert. Some day cars will drive themselves. Some days, you understand, in our world, the word impossible doesn't exist. And they created that impression that we are an innovative bank, and it was amazing. One day, an elderly woman went to the bank and saw a lot of a queue and was wondering, why is there a queue? They said the system is down, so they are not paying. And she went to the teller, said, excuse me, guys, they gave us space. I went to the teller, I said, I want to collect my money. And the teller said that we cannot pay you because the system is down. And she said to them that in your world, the word impossible doesn't exist. So you need to pay me. Now, we need to balance the structures that enables us to be consistent. Personalities like that advert, oh, fantastic, I like this character, is what enables you to deliver on your brand promise consistently over time. So balance both is what I would say. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Maxwell. And I think I really like how you brought it home. So we're going to move on to the next question, and it says, I'm just trying to pull that up right now. Okay. If I've been working in a particular industry for so long and I've built a reputation within the space, I'm looking to transition to a new industry, what practical steps can I take to transition into an entirely new sector or area? Ms. Olabisi, we're going to have you answer that first, and then Dr. Maxwell would take on the question as well. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you. So you want practical steps. First, I would like to recommend a book, The First 90 Days by Michael Watkins. It's quite explicit, but using my own experience, not now moving from one organization to the other, but from a role to another. I'll just let me just see if I can list 5 at this point. So getting to a new environment, yes, you've built that. You already have that reputation where you are, and you are going somewhere else. Okay, my first 90 days by Michael Watkins. That is Watkins. So when you get to the new organization, you need to first start by align. You get alignment. Get alignment means you try to fit into. For me, and I like using myself as an example, I try to profile the people around me. Profiling people around me is trying to know who is who, from their personality types, to know who influences what, who shakes what table, who sits at what table, because it goes a long way to carve my niche, to know who to go and meet or whose weight I need when I want to achieve whatever it is I want to achieve. There are some things you need to do that you need some weight thrown behind. You need some people that would support, that activity or initiative you want to bring to the table. So get your alignment. Then number 2, build your team. You need a winning team anytime, and that's one thing you need to do. I don't know what level you are, in that in the new space you want to get into, but at whatever level you are being brought into now. Based on my experience, I've done quite a lot in the leadership space. And I know that it's quite important if you want to succeed. You need a winning team. It's like it's like a football analogy. When a coach wants to ensure that, yes, they win that Europa League or whatever it is they want to achieve, you need a winning team, and you have to build that team. You know who strikes at what point, you know who defends at what point, and that is very, very critical for you. So you build your team. So wherever level you are getting into any organization, you need to also build that team. Even if it's at the middle level, a middle management level, even at the lower level, you still need people that will support. So I've said 1, get alignment. Number 2, you build your team. Number 3, you also need to build alliances. So across the organization, you're going somewhere new. You need to build alliances. Alliances are people that would root for you, that are there. Not necessarily, and of course, I want to believe the person asking the question is someone that is excellence oriented, because I wouldn't want to support mediocrity in any way. So you build the alliances, people that you know that will be there to support, to whatever you are bringing to the table, they are there to magnify. There's an emoji that they will show you. They say, what's it called now? Volume, please, or use the mic. That will help you amplify whatever it is you are, bringing to the table, or you're bringing new to the organization. I would also say that you need to also manage yourself as an individual. You need to manage yourself well. Getting new to a place, there are tendencies to want to see things differently, pull things down, or try to, correct things because you just quickly want to showcase the fact that, or you want to make the new environment know that, yes, you are not a previously unidentified recruitment error. So you want to do so much, and as such, you tear things that they are not meant to tear down. And in the bit of trying to tear down, you also lose sight of the fact that you are doing beyond what you should do as an individual. So number 4, you need to also manage yourself, manage how you showcase. And I'm still going to tie down to the point of what do you want others to see in terms of what you project there, your personality, your brand. Manage yourself. I'm mindful of time, so I'm cutting this into bits. It's something, that if you want to speak extensively on, you could take almost an hour to speak to how you need to manage yourself as an individual. And I'll stop at the 5th point. You need to ensure that you clinch early victories. So, and that's why I'm recommending the book, by Thank you so much. One has pinned it, Michael Watkins. Early wins. Most times, when you are new in an organization, while you need to manage yourself to ensure that you don't pull structures that you're not meant to pull down, you need to also ensure that you clinch early wins. That gives an impression, and that's part of what you are showcasing to in the new environment, that you are the stuff you are made of. So critically, and when you've done the first 3 or 4 steps, people already let you into areas that need to be refined, areas that are low-hanging fruits in organizations. And once you get the low-hanging fruit, quickly cash into it and showcase to that organization that, yes, this is the person they need. Afterwards, when you've done that, you may still wobble, you may still have a few shakes, but once you've established that yes, BC is the person that is needed for the job at this point, whether it is reformative, whether it is transformational, whether it is building a team from the scratch, you ensure that you clinch your early victories. I'll yield my mark at this point, but those are 5 key steps I believe as individuals we need to, you need to quickly get a hold of. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So we had her clinch your early victories. Dr. Oba?
Okay, I think she answered the question from after you have made the transition. And because after you've gone to the organization, you need to know the key influencers and the rest. I want to attempt the question from before you made the transition, because this is somebody who, I checked the question again, who has built the reputation in one particular industry and wants to move to the other industry. So how do you make that transition from moving from one industry to another industry? I've made so many transitions in my life. I've moved from being a medical doctor to being a banker. From being a banker, I've moved to being a consultant. So I've done transitions, and I understand what transitions are. First, you need to understand a transition is a psychological process. So it starts with how you think about yourself, how you think about your opportunity, how you think about your future. And I also need to, once you understand that psychological process of transition, that imposter syndrome sometimes. Sometimes you feel that you are not worthy. You feel that, are you sure I'm a stranger? What will people think about me? A medical doctor wants to go into leave medicine for banking. This is and you need to deal with those psychological process. Second thing here, you need to understand that for that person making transition, that competencies are job specific, role specific, organization specific, and industry specific. There are certain competencies that you cannot take across from one organization to another. There are some you can take across from one organization to another, from one industry to another. So if I'm in medicine, for example, and I'm moving to banking, all the physiology and the heart, cardio, all those things I can't take them into banking. But I have things in medicine that I can take into banking. Yes, the discipline, the dedication, the hard work that medicine teaches us, the books I can take that into that particular area. So I cannot emphasize my medical knowledge, but that discipline, I can take that into that particular area, industry. Second thing you need to do is ask yourself, do a competency profile. So what does this new industry require, and do I have it? What does this industry require, and do I have it? And number 3, you understand. So number 1, I talked about the psychological adjustment that you need to make, because transitions are psychological. Number 2 is about doing a competency profile, understanding there are certain competencies you can't take them across industries. Some you can take across. So if you're a teller in a bank, for example, and you're moving to some industries, you can't take tellering and counting cash to some other industry, but attention to detail, you can pick that across. Number 3 is do what I call your KIT, K-I-T, knowledge, involvement, and trust. Knowledge is, okay, so what do I need to know in trying to make this transition? Involvement is, who do I need to know in trying to make the transition? And the last one is trust. Let people know that they can count on you by giving you this opportunity as you make the transition, and you will not fail them. I think if you do that before, then you add what Madam Olabisi has said, when you make the transition, I think you have a complete picture. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Dr. Maxwell, for just breaking that down for us. So I was going through the question, and I see that we're moving quite fast. So I wanted us to just touch a bit on this question. I think quite a number of people can relate to in some sense, not including like the crime, but quite a number of people can relate to this. And it says, they say we should put the past behind us. Sadly, I participated in a crime years ago and was even convicted for it. It was a fraudulent transaction in business, and my actions still haunt my reputation to date. How do I convince people that I'm no longer the same person? I really want to live my life. So from the tone of this message, I said, oh, since the person is slightly desperate for a solution. And I'll actually appreciate Mr. Labisi if you could sort of like bring it a bit, not maybe just generalize a little bit, not specifically to crime, but maybe just things that we might have done, maybe in the past, maybe in uni, those sort of things. It'd be great if we could also address it from that perspective. Mr. Labisi, over to you.
Okay. Thank you so much. I'll try as much as possible to, also make it very, very realistic. So it's more of an individual trying to, or you want to reinvent yourself. You want to showcase a new you to the world, and as such, you have to be deliberate about it. One needs to be deliberate about it. Now, I want to start by telling this individual or individuals now, and I'm still going to go back to that because it is very, very key for anyone that wants to showcase or that wants to project, that wants to ensure visibility out there, to really, really understand who they are. So whatever has been done in times past, all things are passed away. And okay, this is a more in the spiritual circle. So I can say that, behold, all things have become new. So I want to believe you're a new person now. You have changed, and things have to get better. So understand fully who you are and what are the things you want people to know now about you. And those are the things, those are pillars that help, you to be consistent, as Dr. Maxwell has said, to be consistent about your promise, to the world. Who are you? What do you want people to know? So in this bit now, yes, I want to change. I have changed. I want to ensure that, yes, people see a different me. So what are the things you want people to see about you? What is that thing, or what are those characteristics that you want to showcase to the world? And you need to list them down. This is my coach, wearing my coach cap now. You need to list them out so that you run with it. Write the vision and make it plain. Run with it. Now, because of your experience, and I believe something strongly, and it's not just about the question now. We are not all sent to the same people. Take it or leave it. You have your target audience. That is why at work, you are not employed. You are employed for X, Y, Z. And as such, you have that specialty, the competency that you brought or the skills that you brought into the business is for that. Yes, you may support other functions in different areas, but you have your target audience, and I'm leading into that. So in this field now, who are the people you've been sent to? If you know, the fact that whatever has happened in times past, yes, a mistake is part of your journey, and as such, the experience is for a reason. The experience is for a reason, and as such has to come out. So once you identify the areas, who is your target, or who are your target audience, better put, that also helps you a great deal. Now, I wouldn't want to use names of people, as Dr. Maxwell has said at this point, but you've had people that, based on experience, they've had to change or turn a new leaf, and as such, they've had to rebrand themselves, in quote, and they've done it in a very, very fantastic way. So you're not sent to everybody. Your experience is part of your journey in life. As such, you also need to support, help other people. So number one, once you've identified what you want to showcase to the world, who is the new you? What do you want your new you to represent? Number two, you are not sent to everybody. You have a focus. There's a target. Who are you trying to solve pain points for? then you have to leverage your uniqueness. So you have quite a number of things that are unique to you. We have over, is it 7.9 as of February now? Well, February 2022, we have 7.9 people in terms of 7.9 billion in terms of population, but we don't all have the same fingerprints. That shows uniqueness. So leverage that uniqueness as an individual. And I'm speaking to everybody at this point. There's something unique about you, and that you can also use to project yourself as an individual. Then also, you need to also, at this point, demystify that part of you that you are not so proud of. And that comes from the, using the power of empathy. So because the question is specific now, demystify. People can learn from what you've gone through. And as such, when people learn from what you've gone through, there are people that would feel, attracted to you based on that. And those are the people you need to support. Those are the people that you need to sell that new brand to. Those are the people that need to see that there's a difference in what is happening in your life. And lastly, you could do well with a network, a good network. Reach out to people. When you share your story, when people see consistently, and that's where consistency comes in as well. So you want people to see excellence, you want people to see integrity now, because of course of what had happened in times past, you need to a 360 degrees turnaround. So integrity could be part of what you want to showcase to the world now. You need to be consistent about it. You need a network of people of like minds, of people that are also trying to aspire to do something good or impact their world positively. And together, the power, the synergy in this community can help you reinforce that new projection you want to showcase. Thank you. Let me stop at that.
Thank you so much. Dr. Maxwell, what's your take on this reinvention?
I need to start by saying that you can reinvent yourself. So I'm looking at the question again, and I'm asking myself, is it that is haunting your reputation, or you've not forgiven yourself? Because if you committed a crime, so some questions we don't have the details. If you committed a crime 10, 15 years ago, and you meet me today, how would I know that you committed a crime? Or is it that that particular thing is holding you back? So you are conscious of your mistake. So those are questions we might need to clarify first before I give specific answers. Because sometimes the problem is that you have, number one, you've not forgiven yourself for the mistake. And so anytime you're entering into a transaction, you think that people know, and you want to quickly say the thing so that you want to put it out there. And I need to warn you here at this particular point. Let me go a bit spiritual. Some people might not agree with this point, but you'll find out that it's the truth. I tell people that, say, the purpose of confession, asking for forgiveness, is to close a wound. That's what the purpose of confession and asking for forgiveness. When you make a mistake, you close that wound. But if you confess to open a wound, then you are not wise. What do I mean? So you go somewhere else and nobody's talking about your past, and you want to tell the person that I was convicted as a criminal 10 years ago. You know what you've simply done? You've opened a wound, and it becomes a hard sell. Now, how would you close that particular wound? You don't bring everybody into your past. You don't bring everybody into your past, except it is absolutely necessary or it was asked specifically. Now, if it is absolutely necessary, it was asked specifically, then you bring it up. So if I'm entering a relationship as an ex-convict, do I say the first time I meet the person, when we've not even gotten serious, I'm an ex-convict? No, you're opening a wound. You need to let the person get to know you first, and then you can bring that up much later. And it will be, once somebody knows you and has seen the new you, whatever that new you is, by the time I now hear the information about you in the past, I can manage that information better because I have seen the changes in your new you. But if the first time we are having a meeting, you are bringing it up, then you are not giving me an opportunity to manage that information. The only lens I see you is the lens of your conviction, and you need to be careful. So like Madam Olabisi said, it's not everybody you bring into your world. It's not everybody you tell what has happened in your past. It's not everybody that has access to that. So you need to be very discretive. Third thing I want to say here is number 3, that you can convert your scars to your stories and your testimonies. There are people that have gone to jail, and as a result of, there are people that are in AA, the AA Alcoholic Anonymous, and they're using that to help other people go through that. So if you did something, you can start something like Integrity Professionals or something, and your story becomes an avenue for somebody else to learn from it. But I think that you can actually overcome that situation. You definitely can overcome that situation if, number 1, you forgive yourself. Number 2, you manage how you. It's not everybody. Not everybody wants to know some of those stories. You understand? So you manage the people you tell the stories, and when you mention the stories. Number 3 is understanding that you can convert your scars to. You can convert that to testimonies. I was once this. Yes, I was once an alcoholic. I was once addicted. I was once this. I once made a mistake 15 years ago. But look at me today. I'm helping professionals. So I think you can reinvent yourself. But this particular question, I'm even willing to talk through to the person if the person wants us to take a one-on-one on it, because I need to know specifics. I need to know how the thing is affecting the person. Is it affecting the person, or the person is allowing the thing to affect him or her? So that's what I would say on this particular question. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Like, you literally brought a new perspective to forgive and forget. I think we tend to make that for outside circumstances and refuse to bring that to ourselves. So I really appreciate how you were able to touch on that. All right, we're moving quick and we're moving fast. I'm going to take in the next question, which is for our business community. So the LYP is not just for those who are functioning like a 9-to-5. It's pretty much for business people, entrepreneurs, wherever you find yourself. So far, you're young at heart and you target to be professional at what you do, you're part of our community. So next question, as we are running fast, it says, I am in a commodity and highly saturated market. What steps can I take to differentiate myself? Mr. Lapis, I see you nodding your head, and I want to throw this question to you first before Dr. Maxwell.
Okay. So I hear that a lot. You know, people trying to distinguish themselves because of, you know, I'll call it the red ocean, you know. So let me just try and answer this question by saying this. For most people, I guess where the struggle begins is, and I like what Dr. Maxwell said, and I'm referring to it with respect to the imposter syndrome. You know, it pops up everywhere. You believe you are unable to do something, and that's, first of all, kills a lot of, you know, initiative. That kills a lot of drive in people. When you even have what it takes, it kills and doesn't allow you to do what you want to do. So I would say that first, in distinguishing yourself, if you want to distinguish yourself, the point of visibility is there. But how do you ensure that you are visible? You have to start by knowing your onions in whatever field. And thanks for that clarity, you know, that professionals, the LYP is not just about the 9-to-5. You have, you know, different professionals in business field, wherever you found yourself, and you know, getting a head go or headway with what you're doing. So you start with, you know, the point of visibility. There's something we've said earlier. You could have all it takes. You could have, you know, in terms of the competencies, you could have the head knowledge. You could have, yes, the right competencies, skills, knowledge, and ability. But if people don't know you have it, there's no point. There's nothing you won't be able, nobody would come to you because you don't know you have what it takes. So get visible. However you want to run it. And that's part of the things why we are sharing this today. Now, it's not just on social media that you can do that. You could also reach out to other people, helping other people, business. You could reach out, if it's in the business world, reach out to other people in your field. Try to, collaborate to showcase what you have. We've seen various platforms people have used to showcase what they do, what they have, what they are able to deliver. So that is also key, the visibility part of it. Also, I would also want to look at the point, or look at the from the angle of getting, I've said, knowing your onions, getting more knowledge in the field, getting better, excellence in that field that you are in. So we are all together, and I'll use the analogy of, and because I heard commodity in that question. So you have coffee beans. You have coffee beans. You have what is it called now? Let's move from coffee beans. You have another brand, let's say a Nescafe, and from Nescafe you have, look for a premium brand of coffee now. I'm trying to get a premium brand of coffee, let's say like an espresso. So there are different things. They are made from coffee, which is the commodity, then a Nescafe, then a premium brand of espresso. So what have these people, what have these brands done? What have these things done? What have this refinement done? So the commodity, the person that made Nescafe just improved on the coffee beans, improving on the coffee beans by, possibly putting it in cans, possibly refining one way or the other, and as such, getting better. And of course, at a more premium brand, there are still higher steps they've taken. So, number one, you've made yourself visible, and maybe you even need to get the more, how do I put it now? Get ready in the face of redefining that commodity, that you, getting knowledge, improving your skills, improving your knowledge base, improving your ability in that field, whatever field you are now, whether in 9 to 5 or in business. When you are sure that, yes, you are no longer what people can, do without, you are a necessity at this point. People are searching out for you, then you not project yourself in terms of visibility. Then lastly, I want to put the point of excellence there. Excellence in the field or whatever field you are is very, very key. So most people, you want to stand out, but you decide to do things the regular way, the way any other person would do things. If you want to be distinct, you can't afford to, it can't be business as usual. There has to be a signature, your signature on things that people will know that, yes, it is Dr. Maxwell that has done this thing, or this is Olabisi that has done this thing. For me, my place of work, I tell colleagues, so, there's a particular way that I want things to be seen. If I would put my signature on any document, there's a particular way I want it, or there's a particular message I want it to project, because it is key for me as an individual. Excellence is part of what I've promised whoever it is that will have relationship with me, that would see that. So for whatever it is you are doing, let that also be there. In 9 to 5, you want to be distinct. Whatever it is, I've gone to, hair salons that I would want to go back, because how did they do? It's just simple bit of excellence. Oh, they serve you water, they serve you this, they serve you that. Those are little things that set people apart. So whatever field you are, there are little things that would set you apart as an individual. There are little things that would make you distinct as an individual. And also, we've spoken about the visibility part is also very key. Collaborate with the right kind of people. Collaborate with the right kind of people and ensure that they would help you. They would help you as well. They say if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with people. So it is very key as well. I'll stop here and I'll allow Dr. Maxwell to also share from his perspective as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Madam. I think I'll just add 1 or 2 things. You see, sometimes this commodity, there's almost no product that is not a commodity. There's almost no product. Very few products are actually niche markets. Even the phone that you call Apple niche and the rest, there are over 2,000 phone manufacturers. If you go to Ikeja, go somewhere else, there are plenty. We see them every day. Yes, in some certain markets like water, they are more, it's easy. So it's a threat to entry, so people can enter. So that's why you call commodity. But almost everything, the guy who makes this, there there is a dime a dozen. There are a lot of people who make these dresses and all that. So understand that commodity market is not the reason why you're not succeeding, because almost every product ultimately would be, it starts from niche, it will eventually end as a commodity. Now, the second thing I want to say here, once you understand that your car, everybody will come inside. Once the product is doing well, everybody will come inside. But if we know specifically, are you into water? She gave a good example on the cocoa business. Cocoa is a commodity, but there are different brands and the rest. So what I would say here is, if I cannot differentiate the product, if I can't differentiate the product, so what I sell is what I can't differentiate the product, I can differentiate my service. And my service can do with convenience, with the ease of purchase, the relationship that I have with the people. So if I cannot differentiate my product, in the things I do, what we teach and the rest, yes, you can try and differentiate it because it's intellectual property, you can differentiate that. But some other things, the products are fees. So if I take this, sorry, I'm using this is Lacena water. That's Lacena water. It's commodity, but that's the water I drink because it was differentiated because of it's an alkaline water, and that differentiated it. So if you can't differentiate the product and you tell yourself that I can't differentiate this product, then where you have your biggest market is in your service. And I'll say to you, in that service is where you can actually make even more money. How you attend to the person. So let me give an example and I end. I remember those days before I got married. There was this lady, when I come back from work as a banker, then her shop was quite filled. I would stop, I would buy the things I want to buy, then we'll go home and the rest. So one day, there are two shops just adjacent to each other. I went to the normal shop, the shop I normally buy things, the shop that was quite filled, picnic and all the things, Bombita and the rest, and sardine, those things as a bachelor, just to have dinner and go to bed. Then I found she didn't have what I wanted that day, and I entered the next shop just to buy the thing. And the lady came out and said, "Oh, how are you? I see that you come back late. Are you a banker?" I said, "Yes." And we got talking and the rest. And guess what? And when I left there, I said, even this woman that entered her shop or my normal customers never even asked me what I do for a living. Cut the long story short, over time, this second woman, I found out that she was even a doctor. She left medicine for so many. I never entered the second shop any longer. It wasn't because what was in the first shop again? What was in the first shop? The first shop was big. The second shop there was scanty. But the relationship, that interaction, that connection, that how should they going? You understand? How is this? That was the reason that woman won me over. So if you can't differentiate the product, you can actually differentiate it in your service delivery, in the relationship you have with your clients, in how you attend to them. And it's a big space. That's what she talked about, your unique signature. It's a big space of how you interact with your customers and the rest. You can actually differentiate yourself. So even commodity products, commodity markets, you can still stand out and still be successful. That's what I'll say. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Maxwell. I think I'm going to throw this to the audience. If you have any questions that you would like our speakers to answer, maybe from the conversation or from the tips that they have shared, please feel free to drop it on the chat. We have a team who are just available to pull that up, and then we can throw it to our speakers to just really dive and tackle it. But while we're collating those questions, I'll take just two more questions. And I think this is pretty much a take home for all of us that I would like to touch on. And it says, how can I build a solid brand? So Dr. Oba and Mr. Labisi, it would be great if you could really just give us maybe like a guideline on how we can build a solid personal brand. So this is bringing it to ourselves right now, not just to a business or a career, how we can build a personal brand. Mr. Labisi, over to you.
Sorry, I was on mute. So let me just use myself as an example. So I recall that years back, my early days in the career, I did so much work. I was here and there, and the promotion wasn't coming the way I was expecting it. So, you will get to meetings and you realize that, yes, it is either A, B that they are choosing over you. And it was till I realized that there was something that I wasn't projecting about me that had not helped, a great deal. So there were higher roles that I could have, or that I really qualified for, but because of either the way I put myself together or the way I projected myself, people felt, the leaders then felt I wasn't ready. So I went on a journey, and this is, the journey I undertook to ensure that, yes, I showcased myself to the world. So I'll just share 5, quick steps that I use that worked for me. If you go out there, you see a whole lot of resource that will give you step-by-step, way of you ensuring that you build a personal brand. But it's all applicable to you, may not be. But these are the things that were applicable to me, and I also want to share with others at this point. So the first thing is I started with identifying who I am. So when I say who am I as an individual, we've spoken a lot about that, in the course of the discussion that we've had today. I had to go deep down to know what exactly it is I want. And because this is a Christian gathering, I can say as much as, what is my purpose? So it's better you build your brand around what your purpose is in life. And that goes a long way to help you with impact. So who am I called to? Who am I? What am I to do? As Christians, a lot of things can speak more. And of course, you can allow the Holy Spirit to, share that broad clearly, in our hearts, what exactly it is that we are meant to do. And once you've done that, you need to also stay true. And that's what people call in the core branding balance, authenticity. You have to stay true to who you are. So for different people at different points, you have different things you want to showcase. What exactly do you want people to see? As a businessman, as a businesswoman, you understand fully what you are to do. It could be a personal brand, it could be a business brand, whichever way. Now, these answers will suffice for both. So what is that business meant to deliver? What is the vision of that business? What is the mission of that business? That helps you. That's the starting point. That's the foundation. Once you've gotten that, as individuals now, moving from a business brand, who am I? What am I to do? What do I want to represent, or what am I representing to the world out there? Then authenticity. Oh, I'm trying to project, integrity, excellence. I'm trying to project spirituality. I'm trying to project warmth. Stay true to you. Be authentic. Don't try to, be someone else. We see the other brands that we see out there. We've mentioned quite a number of brands out there that are premium brands. They've stayed true to what exactly it is that they want to do, what they've projected, their brand identity, their brand promise to the world. That is also very key. I'll speak to the next one, which is, who are you, meant for, your target audience? So even for businesses, you can see in terms of differentiation, there are some strategies that you use when you speak to strategy now, in differentiation. Some will do in terms of costs. Some will do, okay, we're not even looking at the cost now. We are looking at, the market niche we want to satisfy. So who your target audience at this point? If it's a personal brand, who are you trying to attract? What pain points are you trying to resolve? Those are the things you need to list out so that you know that, yes, you're not really for everybody. And whoever it is you've been sent or you've been called, or your brand is called to impact, you need to know them well. So that's another area. So it falls with whichever within personal, business brands, your target audience. You'll see products that, yes, it is clear from get-go that, like a Rolls Royce now, they, in terms of their own differentiation, it is, they know that, yes, it's high-end. And those that are, have the means or wherewithal to get a Rolls Royce are going for it. If they are unapologetic about it, there are still other brands that would also meet other people's needs, but they've differentiated themselves. So your target audience, you need to know your target audience. And that's number 3. I would say number 4, I would say you also need to, network. I keep saying network because, for me, it has done, so much help. I said something earlier. If you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go with people. And it's not just people, it's people of like minds. So networking in your business, you see collaborations, great collaborations out there. And you've seen businesses that have collaborated, making so much impact. You see individuals collaborating with the right kind of people, making impact. So it is also very key at this point. Then your presence now. I said something when I started. Now it could be, the presence is very, very wide in this discourse. It could be online presence, and it's not just even online presence now. Your presence as individuals, your business presence, your individual presence. How are you projecting yourself out there, for others to see? Online, I said some people, I just said when I started, I mean, Google your name or Google your business. What is the perception there? What would other people see that would form an opinion about you? Some people may not even have the opportunity to speak to others, to actually showcase themselves. It is what people have perceived about them based on one or two things out there that would make them form their opinion. So right now, we need to start to be deliberate about how you show up at every point in time. Those things are very, very key. I'll stop at these 5 so that Dr. Maxwell also, speak to the other points as you want to.
I will not get an overkill to add some more points. But what I'll say just in addition is that you need to perform a brand audit. You understand? And a brand audit is finding out, so where are you right now? That's what a brand audit does. So where am I right now? And see, strong brands has so many. Number one, they are well known, they are respected, they are celebrated, and they are paid more. And so if you ask yourself, am I well known in my industry? Am I respected? Am I celebrated? And do I command a premium? Then you can tell yourself where you are doing your own brand audit. So the next question, in addition, because I don't want to talk about this here, then you need to do your brand projection. And she talked about, where do you want to go in life? Where do you want your brand to be? What segment? How do you want your brand to be perceived by different people in the industry? Then once you do that, every other thing will now be, okay, brand strategy. You understand? How do I project myself? Social media, online presence. Who do I project myself to? How often do I project myself? You understand? So, and there are different strategies going from there. But know where you are based on your brand audits, know where you want to go based on your brand goals. Then ask yourself, so how do I get there? And then how do I get there? She has talked about networking, which is critical. Brand is a perception that somebody else holds. So you need to network for the people that you want to know you. So I think that particular issue, she has dealt with it. I just added these two in addition to what she said, so that will not overflow the particular question. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, sir. So I see that we have no questions on the chat, which is a good thing. I just see people reposting all of the nuggets that both our speakers have dropped. So that's really, really exciting. Please, we hope you share it on social and to your friends who may need this very important information. To our speakers, thank you so much for joining us today. But before we wrap up, I wanted to just ask if you had any closing points or any exercise that you would like us to take on as we go on to build our personal brand. Mr. Labasi?
I try to mute every time so that I don't have background noise. So he said exercise that would, okay, for me, what I had in mind really, and coming from my coach perspective, we have spoken quite a lot about strategies that would help build our personal brand, and people have done quite a lot. And I just want us to tie this up by ensuring that we take a step or we make that move. So in the chat room, I would just like us to personally now, for individuals, as many as can take a go at it. In a ratio, or okay, let's rate from 1 to 10. Where are you with respect to your personal brand? How comfortable are you, or how confident are you that you are getting it with respect to your personal brand? 1 being the lowest, 10 being the highest. I wouldn't mind responses in the chat room. 1 being lowest, 10 being highest. Hope we understand as the audience. With respect to your personal brand, how well are you doing? How would you rate yourself? Fantastic. I'm seeing 6. I'm seeing a 5.7. I'm seeing a 6. Fantastic. I'll go for 6. Beautiful. So as we keep it coming, fantastic. I like that 7. That is good. As we keep it coming, I want us to do something today. For as many as have below 5, I also tell you, I'm also nobody's there yet. At each point in my life, I reinvent. I get bored easily. So when I see that, yes, I think I need to re-strategize. I put things together and I project what I want the world to see about me, because at each point I want to stay relevant. So it is very, very important at this time. I would want you to take an assignment now for, that's my, to close out. For everyone, now, what are the things, you've answered truthfully. I've seen people respond in the chat room of where they are currently. For people, this is where you are. This is where you want to be. For those on 7, where do you want to be? For those on 5, where do you want to be? And that will be from a percentage angle now. So I want us to just take few questions. Now, what is actually hindering me as an individual from achieving my target goal? What is actually hindering me as an individual from achieving my target goal? Then I also want you to set a goal for yourself that by possibly June, and it has to be realistic. I know we all know the SMART rules. It has to be specific. It has to be measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. So by June 2022 or by December 2022, I'm currently on a 7 with respect to my brand projection. I want to be at a 10, or I'm at a 20%. I want to be at a 70%. So I want us to put that question down. Where do I want to be? And couch a goal for yourself in the next 6 months, 7 months. Now, I want to also put a consequence to it. If I don't achieve the goal, what will I do? For some of us, you're already planning that vacation. If you not achieve that goal, you can say, there's no vacation for me. If I achieve my goal, I could say, oh, I'm going to reward myself with Dubai. Why am I saying this? I realize that it's for every human being. It's just about we being deliberate. And if you're not deliberate about achieving some of these things, we would not achieve it. We've mentioned quite a lot of things, a lot of reasons why it is important for us to showcase ourselves, there. So please and please, we need to do what we need to do at this point. So thank you so much. And I believe that can I count on you that you would also, craft that, goal for yourself to ensure that in terms of your achievements or in terms of your career successes, you project yourself. You have that brand that you can be proud of. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ma. And I really love the challenge, and I hope that we all take on this challenge. So it's really simple. I'm just going to do a bit of a recap. The take-home exercise is identify what is hindering you from achieving your target goal, and also set a realistic and time-bound goal for yourself and include a consequence. Whatever it is that you're going to have. Reward rather. Whatever
reward
it is.
No, you need both. A reward if you achieve, a consequence if you do not.
So you had, thank you, for the clarification. A reward if you achieve it, and a consequence if you do not achieve it. So
you may also need an accountability partner as well, someone that you stay accountable to within your group, within the professional group league. You can have an accountability partner just to follow through with you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ma. It was indeed insightful. I'm just going to give the floor to Dr. Max. So I think he dropped off a little bit, but I see
okay. Okay. Guess what? I didn't know that my laptop was not connected, and so it just went off. So I'm using my phone. So this is the last. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you very well.
Okay, so what would I say as a closing remark? I've talked. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you, my co-facilitator, Madam Olabisi Dudu-Yemi. I think I talked about doing a brand audit. You understand your brand goals and ultimately your brand strategy. And I talked about the audit is about, are you known, are you respected, are you celebrated, and do you earn more? Let me say this here, that the numbers you give to yourself is the function of where you want to be. So let's take the journey of your brand. If you work for an organization, phase one is, are you known? Are you respected? Are you celebrated? And are you paid more in that organization? So if you are not known in your organization and you're rating yourself a 7 or an 8, and you're not known at the very top, then that rating, you need to scale it down. So you cannot divide your organization into two. So first, from a departmental standpoint, am I known? So level number one would be, in my department, am I a rock star? Call it like rock star in my department. Then level number two would be my organization. So if you work in a bank, you can stay in my branch, then at the very top in that organization, I am known when it comes to this particular point. Number three is, in my industry, am I known? So in my industry, am I known? Number four is, in the nation, am I known? And number five is global. So your numbers will be a function of, so where do I want, do I think that in what I'm doing, I should be a global voice? Or if it's, for example, if it's based on global voice, I'll rate myself a 1/10 because I know that I need to. But if it's based on in a certain space, I might rate myself a 7 or 8. I think that's that journey that you need to know at every point in time. So what's the goal? The goal for this quarter, the goal for this year is that in this organization, I want to be a 9/10 when it comes to this particular area. I want to create a brand, a perception, and that perception is a function of consistent delivery. And if you manage the journey, so for example, you can't be global if you're not national. You can't be national if in your industry you are not known. You can't be known in your industry if in your organization you're not known. The next question you need to ask yourself, okay, so how do I get there? And different means. The only thing I will say finally to you, that one bottom line, yes, knowledge is important. Knowledge, remember kids, knowledge, involvement, and trust is important. You need to know certain stuff, and every time you migrate, you need to involve people, you need to build trust. I will just say to you here, at every point in your delivery, people, and the results that you deliver are key at every point. You need to ensure that you manage relationships well and you deliver excellence across board. That will be my final closing thoughts to you. Harness the power of relationships, because brands travel through relationship and deliver excellence every time you have the opportunity to do so. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So I think something that you both have said that has really stuck as we have transgressed in this session is excellence. So if you're not implementing that into your lifestyle, I really, really recommend that you begin to do so as we get on with your life and building your personal brand, career, and pretty much whatever it is that you do. So please let us begin to imbibe the spirit of excellence, which happens to be one of the spirits, let's begin to imbibe the spirit of excellence in whatever we do. So it's been a very insightful session. It's funny how an hour 30 minutes has gone by so fast. But I'm happy that we were all able to take a lot in and have our questions answered. And pretty much they've given us a roadmap on how we can build a personal brand throughout this year with a few exercises. Don't forget the first one that Mr. Labisi mentioned, and the other one that Dr. Maxwell mentioned, which is doing a brand audit. So please, if you want to recap the session, it's live on YouTube. You can go ahead and do that. So yes, I guess we can call it a wrap for today. Thank you to everyone that joined us. A few announcements I'd like to make. So we will be doing this monthly. You can trust us to be in your emails for the next details on the next session we're going to have. Hopefully, will be next month. It might be a first physical session. So we recommend you to come and see, put a face to people that build and put this together. We would also be having a dinner with our mentor. I wouldn't let the cat out of the bag now, but more information will be shared as we progress. And this program was brought to you by the League of Young Professionals, who are a part of the Foundation of Youth Assembly. If you do not have a church to worship, please come and worship with us. It's an exciting church. If you love worship, we have the best choir in Nigeria, actually, like no caps. That's the truth. So come and worship with us tomorrow, which is a Sunday. Thank you so much to everyone. Please, if you want to recap the assignments, I have it playing on a slide right now. So you can just stay back and just enjoy some very nice music and just recap on the task that our speakers have given us as you prepare for the weekend ahead. Thank you so much, everyone. It's bye from Joy, and hope you have an exciting week.